Hello and welcome to day 2 of our JUNEwary Challenge 2025, working on Squirrels in Shades by Stephen Dunsford. So yesterday we worked through the first 2 lines and now we're going to take sort of an answering section to those with our lines 3 and 4. Very similar start to each of these mini phrases, which is lovely. So I'm going to play for you first of all yesterday into today, and then we'll have a look at what we're working on today. Fun, isn't it? Lovely. So yesterday we had the left into the right, and then the left was sharing those chords, and it was sharing the chords by filling in the underneath notes, like in line 1. In these lines it is also going to help sharing the chords, but this time, because of where they fall and because of what the hand is doing prior, the left hand is actually going to take on some of the higher notes, just in this bar 8 and again in bar 11. So we start with our D, E, F, A in both hands. We're mezzo piano, so we're a little bit louder than we were at the end of yesterday, or at the end of line 2. And then crescendo poco a poco, so little by little we're going to start getting louder. Okay, and on the next line it says sempre crescendo. Sempre means always or continuously, so keeping that crescendo going all the way through. I can tell you that on line 5 we want to be at forte, so we're really building up with every single note. So starting at bar 7 we have our D, E, F, A in both hands, just like we did in our first 2 lines, and we play the left and we play the right, and then before we play that final A, I'm going to put my finger 2 on the E, which is the bottom note of the next chord, and my left hand is going to go above and play the G and the C, thumb on the C. So my left hand is responsible for the melody note, which is the C up there. So can we just try that pattern? In fact, what you could do, you could kind of sort of give that a little squeeze down there. You can play it if you want. And then kind of pause here and work on getting the left hand up here. See how we have our fingers placed. So we're doing E, G and C, but with finger 2 will be played on an E with the right hand, and the G and the C covered with the left hand. Okay. And that just allows the right hand, because otherwise, you know, the right hand's got to move up into a different area. This way we get a really nice flow. The left hand is going to add into our chord, but it's not going to get in the way of the other one. Like that. What's also nice at that moment as well, as you do that placing, if you've got the thumb on the A at the end of bar 7, and your finger 2's gone down to an E, we've got this gap of a 4th. We call that a 4th because the bottom note, counting it as 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, we land on the top note. We've got 2 strings totally clear from our playing, and the left hand is going on to G and C, which again is a 4th, G, 2, 3, 4, with 2 strings clear. So we have that same size gap in both hands, which again is lovely. It's always really nice in the harp world when we're playing if our hands can size similarly. Is that the right way to put it? With our fingering, if we can land in a similar way with our fingering. So we have, and then our right hand can go back to playing our melody. So we're going to have A, C, D, and the left hand's going to go on to F and A. And then we have a D, which I feel like doing with my left hand because it's just there. Okay, yes, there's the timing again, but it's the same timing we've just done in our first 2 lines. Just because we've got a different layout of our hands doesn't need to impact on that timing. Don't overthink it. Okay, so One of the things I've been noticing as we've been doing this is these two chords that we land on. We're tending to land on a C chord, and that's still a C chord there. And then we resolve back to a D chord. And what's especially nice about that is that our left hand is landing on reds and blacks strings. There, that can be a help to be thinking about where it's going. Okay, now as I say that, it's about to change in the next line, but it gives us that starter for 10 on these first 3 lines, that there's always a red or a black involved in the left hand for those parts. The black is going to come there in the last line, but it's going to be covered by the right hand. So let's put that third line together, starting at bar 7. So again, a lovely relaxed approach. I'm going to get my legs comfortable. Where we're going up, and then we're going to cross over, so the left hand's going to come up here to the red and the G. Okay, so nice and steady. Ready? 3 and 4 and. Right hand going up. That was a bit early by me. Okay, so we'll try that again. In my anxiety to not be late, I came in early. Let's try that again. So D, E, F, A. I'm going to be a bit more county and keep a bit better count in my head, or maybe out loud for us all. Bar 7, 3 and 4 and. 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3, 4. Good job. Okay, going into bar 10 then. Again, this same start. And it carries on in the same way as the line above in terms of the left hand going over to that same chord. So we have the D, E, F, A, with the right hand placing this E just before it plays the A, and the left hand coming to the G and the C. Okay, so that's the same. Then our right hand comes up and we're going to use both hands here. So we have E, then the left hand adds a C, and then the top hand goes E, and it's going to play an F. Left hand's going to do a D and an A. So as I was saying before, the first time the left hand doesn't involve a colour, but the colour is there in that top hand. And we're still doing a D chord there. And again, we're going to answer it with a D near middle C there. So let's just have a try of that one again. So that line, bar 10, starts with our D, E, F, A, just like every line so far. We're going to do the crossover to the C chord. Right hand's going to come up, left hand's going to bring the C in. Okay, so the right hand is just going E, E, F, but it sounds fuller because our left hand's adding the C. Okay, and then a final D. So we'll do that in some timing now, bar 10. Just let those shoulders, give them a little roll, let them drop away. Count you in. 3 and 4 and. Going up. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, brilliant. I will put all of that together, these last 2 lines, in our play along video, and I'll do some counting over the top for that as well, a bit like I did yesterday, and we'll get our different speeds. Okay, then we'll have a little rest day tomorrow, where you can just work on pulling all 4 lines together, getting comfortable with that groove before the piece moves into something a little bit different. Okay, but keep it up. Well done.